what I'd like to do is show you guys how to solve this problem here. What we have is we have 2 divided by 3 minus 5 divided by 6. So what we're going to do here is we need to remember how to subtract fractions. And a lot of people forget one thing, how to subtract fractions, and then the other thing is why do we subtract fractions the way that we do. So the most common mistake I get from here is 2 minus 3 is a negative 3 over 3 minus 3 is a negative 3. Students would make that answer as 1. That is not true, okay? And let's see how we're going to do this. Remember, a fraction is a part of a whole. So I'm just going to use these 2 little kind of bricks to represent this. So it's part over whole. So what they're saying is we have 2/3 out of 3 minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6. And they're saying, what is that answer? Well, if you're to kind of like overlap these, right? It's very hard. You're saying, well, this is 2/3 minus this amount. How much more am I going to be left, right? If you're kind of like overlap these, and this really would be kind of example here. So you're subtracting a larger amount. You're subtracting a larger amount from a smaller amount, and then there's like this little extra part, right? And really, what I'm saying is, you're going to overlap these. You have like, looks like you have a 1/6, and then how much more of another part. So let's see what the exact answer is. So to alleviate this kind of measurement, what we can do is we can put them as the same parts. So what I'm going to do, or actually, never mind, this answer, that was about right. That does leave about 1/6 left. Well, let's see how we can do this. If I rewrite this 2/3, let's rewrite these as equivalent fractions. And what I mean by not really equivalent fractions, but equivalent denominators. So if I was to write this as, let's see, 1. Okay? What you'll notice is 2/3 is right there, right? Because that's still 2, that's 2 parts out of 6, which is still, 2/3, 4 out of 6, which is 2/3, right? And then this one is 5/6. So if I subtract these, okay, 1 minus done, I'm still going to be left over. So what I have is 4/6 minus 5/6. So therefore, I'm left over with 1 more extra, right? I have 1 more extra that I'm subtracting from. So therefore, my answer is going to be a negative 1/6. So there's no point in, we're not changing what our denominator are. Our denominator is still going to be out of 6 parts. But the total amount of holes that I have, well, I have this many holes. I'm subtracting 1 more part from this if I put them in the same equal footing. So therefore, my answer is a negative 1/6. So the main important thing to do when you're subtracting fractions is make sure you put them as the same denominator. So if I have 2/3 minus 5/6, the same denominator, the lowest common denominator would be 6. So I multiply this by 2/2 to give me 4/6 minus 5/6. 4 minus 5 is negative 1/6. And that's how you subtract fractions.